Welcome to another episode of Coffee Conversation, the Emerging Entrepreneur, powered by the Emerging India Forum, TEIF, Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, India Business Group IBG, Indian Chamber of International Business, ICIB, and our tech partner, Prime InfoTech Solution. Today's theme is the next big thing in business advisory. Our guest speaker is Saswata Banerjee. He's partner at Progress Partners Business Advisory LLP. He has a rich experience of over 28 years in consulting since 1995. Worked with large number of SME companies as well as multinational companies. He has been working on processes and systems, profitability, cost control, and business advisory. His specialties are business advisory, InfoTech advisory, costing, systems and procedure, project industry, and market study. So friends, look forward to a lot of learnings in today's coffee conversation with Saswata. Welcome, Saswat, to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you for inviting me over. It is a pleasure to meet you again.
Yeah. So just wanted to explain to you, Sashwat, our format is we divided into three parts. First is your professional journey, personal journey, second part, and there's a surprise round, the rapid fire round. So don't worry, we'll enjoy. Yeah. So, Shashwat, you have a rich experience in consulting. So how has this journey till date come up?
Well, it has been a roller coaster ride. There have been highs, there have been lows. One thing, of course, is that I am from a Bengali family. Bengalis are pro-government jobs, pro-high-level corporate jobs, and very few of them are in business. So when I started, one of the biggest problems, of course, for me was that I didn't have a family connect to leverage on for that. And believe me, Bengali families, even if they have connect, they don't share it with their kids, which is very different from others. Our parents don't believe that they should share. They should request any of their friends to help us. But still, we've done it well. Fortunately, I always had partners with me. Business partners, my partners in my firm who helped me. Some of them guided me and they let me use their connections at various places. And of course, unless you have a good team, unless you have a team that is capable of delivering, which is what my partners made sure. Today, we have a good reputation. Companies recognize us. We work with both the small and the large companies. And I would say, even if I have to pat myself on my back, I would say we have done well.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Shashwat, your contribution to SME industries, which we have seen in your profile, can you share some challenges which you have come across working with any SME industry, and what was your action plan, your strategy to help them overcome those?
Well, there is challenges in everything. So I guess that is always there. The problem with SMEs is that, number one, unfortunately, most of them, they have started in a format that is so different from where they are today. Okay, when you start, you have to do everything yourself. You have to look after everything. As you grow, you need to change that structure. So our biggest challenges in working with SMEs have been to get them to make that change. Okay. I mean, and I'm proud to say the best of my work is with SMEs. I like working with SMEs more than I like working with the large corporates, because we can influence, we can actually make them better and contribute to some extent to nation building. So The problems that really come up is with their flexibility and their willingness to make a change. Okay. If they are rigid, our work is ineffective. We cannot do, because anything we say, if they do not follow, they cannot follow. What are we actually there for? They've paid us just to listen to some words and have one more file to put in the folder in the cupboard. That is not what we are there for. So the other part actually more difficult is the fact that we give a report, they don't follow it through, or they cannot follow it through. Most of the people, unfortunately, even in the large companies, they are bogged down by the processes and their daily routines. And you will, in an SME, you will not have a spare person to whom you can assign and say, do this, follow this, while the others keep on doing their work. Okay, so we do get involved in implementation, we handhold them. To some extent, we actually come and scold them. Okay, so that is something which I can't do in a corporate. But in a SME, I can come and actually scold them. What? You have just wasted 5 lakhs of fees you have given to me. You have not done anything I've said. What was the use? Do you want me to stop coming? Fortunately, most of them said, no, please don't do that. If they say, yes, stop coming, then the matter ends. Let me take an example. There was a company that we used to do work for, which was in garmenting. They do specialized fashion garments, which are always small runs. So the customer says, I want only 1,000 pieces of this design, which is then sent to, say, 100 shops. Every shop will have only 10. So it does not become very common. You will rarely find someone else wearing it, that kind. And when the economic crisis of 2008 happened and the customers were not willing to pay more and the costs were going up, we said, okay, let's see, what can we do? Their fabric wastage was 12%. And we sat in a strategy discussion. I said, fabric is their biggest cost. Can you cut down your wastage? They were reluctant to look at it. They say, we don't have more than what we should waste. Finally, their own people sat down, reworked the design. And guess what? In 1 year, they brought it down from 12% to 8%. And the profit of the company doubled without the prices being increased. We have had cases where we have had to sit and explain to the directors that you are not required to sign vouchers of drivers over time. Just give it to the admin guy. Use your time in a more productive manner. So challenges are there for them also. That is why they're calling us. Challenges are there for us, especially because they expect us to know everything. Okay, we cannot actually know everything, but you cannot tell the client that, because their thing is, oh, this guy is the consultant, he will rescue me. And therefore, he knows everything. He knows tax, he knows finance, he knows strategy, he even knows my market. No, Baba, you are running the business, you know your market. So then we focus on guiding them. See, also, I don't know if people realize, but consulting is actually of two types. One is what is today called coaching. Your consulting is focused on the person changing. Other type is where is the large scale consulting, where a person has been, the team goes and changes, everybody's working, changes the processes, implements the controls, changes the software, technology base, all of those things. And both have their own different challenges.
Wow. superb insights you have given. My next question will be a company, SME or a corporate who approaches for the challenges. So how do you, what are your initial steps and what are the steps for onboarding and how do you prepare them by about your role and about their team's role? I'm asking for a broader consulting. Now this is a consulting question since you raised.
Yeah, so you are basically asking me to explain how we get the assignment so someone else can follow it.
No.
It's okay. I'm just pulling it. I'm just pulling it.
Diligence.
So, see, the whole process, first of all, starts with either us identifying that the client has a problem or the client identifying they have a problem and coming to us saying, no, help me solve it. So, scoping is actually the first step. Scoping sounds easy. It's not at all easy because the client often doesn't know what he's actually come to us for. That's the toughest one. We are very rarely, we are lucky where they want a very specific, they come, Shashwat, I want to change my export process. I want to change my HR process. I want to move from Tally to Zoho or to an ERP. That is that's at least, sometimes they just come and say, I have a problem. Now, the most common thing we used to look at, I have a business that is growing, profits are growing, but I do not have money. I have people shouting at me every day saying, why you haven't paid me? Solve it for me. Or tell me what I should do to solve it. So scoping of that is very difficult. And also, you cannot charge the client for scoping. So it's your cost. And you don't know whether he'll give you the assignment. Another problem, but we accept it as a part of it. Sometimes we say, okay, it's good. I taught him something, even if he did not give me the assignment. In order to do scoping, we often spend half a day or a day in the company looking at their processes, looking at what they're doing, looking at their accounts, looking at documents, files, and we understand what the real problem is. See, actually, that is where our skill is. We can identify the problem more than the client can. Then we have to sit down with the client and explain to him, this is what we propose to do. You wanted to do this, that does not make sense. Sometimes we say that is not your problem. This is what we have to do. And we sit down, it goes through a couple of rounds, then the scope is decided, then the fight starts on the price. Arey nahi, Shashwat ji, itna kahan se hoga? Okay, or we don't have the budget. But finally, yes, they make the budget, we do it. Then we actually get into it. Sometimes we need to spend 1 or 2 weeks in understanding the domain. Okay, now there are certain industries which we already know. Okay, we know garments. I just gave you one example. We know pharma. We know advertising in industry. We know chemicals. We know IT because we have done work on it. Now, suddenly you come in and say, I have a truck manufacturing business. Oh, by the way, we actually know automobiles because we have done work for 4 large automobile companies. Let's take an example. Someone says, I'm making water filters. Now you help me out. I know very little about that industry except that I've got 2 water filters in office and 1 at home. So we have to spend two weeks studying it, understanding, gathering the data, understanding the market. Then we make our plan and give it to the client, get them to agree, make them identify the people who have to work with us, and when they are free, freeze that, and then the actual assignment starts. Is there anything I missed in response to your question? Because I said so much, I forgot what you asked.
I'm absorbing your things as well. Now, my next question, which to ask? So it is because I want to keep it enough flow of what is going on. So the question list and what you are saying, we keep like a natural conversation. So I'm trying to figure out.
I messed up your flow.
No.
Disruptiveness. Good. Sounds good. Go ahead. Buzzwords we learn. No, we have to be disruptive. If I have disrupted your flow, I think I'm happy.
My flow is there is no fixed format in my flow.
Okay.
Where to ask for which questions, like how the flow is going on. So my next question will be on market research. What methodologies you all adopt while customer has come in, your team has started working, and since this is advisory consulting, we have to do a lot of research work. So what are the methodologies you all adopt in for market research?
Okay. I hate market research. Okay. But then my former boss told me when I protested, he said, if you cannot do market research yourself, you are nothing but a glorified clerk. That has gone into my brain. And I use this term on my team. Passing on the same statement. So, market research is of two types. There is secondary research and there is primary research. So secondary research is today easier because you have access to a lot more on the net than when we started. When we started, we used to always go to one place, which is called the Center for Monitoring of the Indian Economy. It's in Andheri. Amazing set of people. In the pre-internet days, they were our saviors. We used to go there, sit. Amazing amount of information they had. Today it is easier. Now it's become more easier because my people use chat GPT and say, sir, I found it out. What of course they don't realize is 40% of the time the answer coming from there is wrong.
Yes.
It's actually like going to Google, doing a search and picking up the first link without seeing anything else. But of course, it is much more sophisticated. It's become easier, but the need for research hasn't changed. The second thing in the research methodology we have understood is we need to have a set of trusted sites. Okay, so if I am doing research on tax rules, I'm doing research on, say, banking rules, there are some sites which I trust their answer. 4 sites I trust their answer. There are 3 sites I'll never look at what they say because they are always wrong. Similarly, if I'm doing research on health, 60% of the sites are from people who don't know what they're saying or having half-baked knowledge, people pretending to be doctors, but they are not. So then I go back. If it is a WHO site, if it is US, there is CDC. I trust them. 3-4 companies which are there, very famous American, European healthcare companies, health consulting companies, their sites I trust. Otherwise, I do not look at it. I have to. So if once this internet one is over, once the documentation is over, the next set of secondary market information comes from the industry experts. So I will go to my doctor friends, treat them to a bottle of beer and say, please help me out with this. Sometimes I have to pay for it. But mostly I have people who are willing to do free, and industry experts, fortunately, love to talk. So you ask them an interesting question, they are so happy to answer. But yes, not everything is free. Industry experts also are very useful because they give you a perspective we as a sector agnostic consultant do not have. The other thing is, in some cases, we have gone to the IITs or the large universities and had them do research on a specific topic for our customers. Okay, some of which takes unfortunately very long time, 2 months, 3 months also. Some of them are much faster. Primary is more difficult. If you have a questionnaire that you want to give to 5,000 people, you have to meet 5,000 people, or if you're using a mailer, you need to give a incentive for them to actually fill it in. But as my former boss says, and I learned most of my market research from him, he's not there now, unfortunately. So you need a questionnaire that captures the quantitative as well as qualitative inputs. And there's a certain way to ask to get what you want. Okay. There is, I don't know, have you watched Yes Minister, the old BBC series?
Yeah.
So there was one particular episode where he wants to know whether military service should be made compulsory. 3 questionnaires were given, and all the 3, one of them, everybody said a yes because the question was put in such a way the guy will look stupid if he says no. Another one, everyone said no because the flow of the questionnaire was such that at the end of it, if you say yes, mera gadha hai kya? So we actually learned from that the questionnaire has to be put in a way that it is neutral, but gives you both quantitative and qualitative factors. Apart from that, analytics, data analytics is actually a big thing. SMEs do not understand it, but it is critical. You have so much data inside, your ability to analyze is not there. Your ability to buy a 6 crore software to run the analytics is not there, but the analytics is required. Say you've got a series of retail stores. You look at that data every month, there is 1 lakh line items in the sales. Can you make any sense of that data? You can't. Each line is 10 rupees, 5 rupees. But can you ignore that? Because in the end, that is what you need to do. So analytics today forms a large part of our data collection. We have certain tools. We are looking for better tools. We are looking for affordable tools, actually. Maybe one of your future conversations will give me the answer to it. And then we have to apply all of this. Oh, yes, there's one very important data source which people ignore, which is the owner of the business. If he has run the business for 10 years, 15 years, he has a vast store of knowledge which he himself doesn't know how to use. If you can glean from it, you will get a large part of the, say, hotels, okay? 6 hotels built almost in the same way at the same locality, 3 of them doing badly, 3 of them doing fantastic. There's a reason for it. The owner or the main manager is doing something right. His knowledge is a very important part of our data.
Superb. My next question will be, you have dealt with various clients during your career. What if a difficult client comes to you? How what is the strategy with dealing with him and implementing the change management which he has come across to you?
Okay, so I will ask a counter question. How do you define a difficult client?
No, I know difficult.
There's a specific reason why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I have found in 25 years that we are difficult clients for some others too, which then makes us think back. So difficult clients are two types. One is a demanding client.
Yeah.
I should not consider him as a difficult client, but he is a difficult client. My staff does not want to work with him or her. But he is not a difficult client. He's not being unreasonable. He's being demanding. He's paying for, or he wants it because there's a timeline and he is in a hurry to finish it. He's a difficult client, but he's actually a demanding client. A second type of client is difficult because he doesn't trust us. Maybe because he has had a bad problem with other consultants. They promised, not delivered, given a stupid reason because of which he's in more trouble. And the third is an actual difficult client, a pain to work with. They're there also. So let's take the first one. Why is a client demanding? Either because your other clients are not. But if someone is not demanding, you should pay more attention to him, because just because he's not demanding, it does not mean we should slack off. The one who's demanding makes me pull up my socks. Now, wo bhi kya hai? Have I made a mistake in scoping? Then I should sit down and discuss. We talked about scoping. Have I made a mistake in estimating my effort and my time? Then that is a mistake. It's my fault. I will have to still do it. Or is there some other problem because of which he is a difficult client to work with? I need to understand. Say, we do legal compliance audit for a large number of big companies, where we audit the factories for compliance with every law that is there. Very intense. When we were doing work with particular company, I will not name, my team was at the wit's end because the client said, I don't want to wait for the end of the week to know what you all have found. I want you to report your findings to the works director every day. And I will also sit there because I want him to do the corrections by the time you finish your audit. So our people, where they used to write down the notes, आराम से hotel में आते थे, खाना खाने के बाद बैठ के, make it into a final, send it to me, I would approve it, I would see it. Now they have to do it live in there, because 6 o'clock in the evening you have to sit with the client, you have to give him a statement. You can't write something which he cannot understand. You cannot have wrong grammar. You cannot have something which the manager said, "Hey, ye to maine dikhaya, kya kar rahe?" So it was a difficult client, and we did work for him across 7 plants, one after the other. There was hardly a gap also. But it taught us. It made us pull up this thing. Now, every day before the team leaves, they send me the same thing which they were sending. Now we tell the client, if you want, we can have a meeting every day. Now, yesterday, my very difficult client told me, no, next time onwards, tell your team to get a sign off every time they get an explanation for any point they've raised. It's a pain, but it's actually a very good thing to do. So that is the one type. The second type is where they don't trust consultants. My first question would actually be, then why did you hire us? Yeah. But we have to work with them. So we give them a bit of leeway. I tell my team, if you are not able to, then just tell them, please talk to Saswat sir or talk to Bullock sir or talk to this Arul, who's our manager, talk to the other senior manager. They will give you the answer to it. Don't indulge in a argument with that client. We wait for them to see the first set of results, see the first observations, and let them learn to trust us. So we have a very young team, the actual ground team. I have had clients calling me up and saying, "Arey, the plant manager is saying, तुमने सब बच्चों को भेजा है, उन लोगों को क्या आता है?" I said, wait till the end of the week, see their findings, then we'll talk. And in almost every case, the works manager has called up and apologized. I'm sorry, but the report that they have given or the points they have raised is something I am shocked to see. Yes. So trust us. If he still cannot trust us, I will actually question him and say, why are we here? Then let us stop it. You have the efforts we have done, you have seen. Let's close it. I'll give you the report to this extent. Let's come to a commercial and understanding. I haven't done it for you free. And let's back off. I don't want to waste your time also. If you're suspicious of everything we are saying, why am I there? But in some cases, we do give them another opportunity by changing the manager or the team lead. Okay, you think that person was not doing? I'll give you someone else. I'll put someone whose work I have personally seen and worked with. फिर भी नहीं होता है, you have to pull out. These are the ways you actually work with it. You don't want to lose a client.
What about the third one? Third one, your analogy on the third type of difficult.
Yes. What was that? Do you remember what that was?
First one was demanding, second one not trusting, third one is difficult. Leave them. So something can come up so in future. We never know.
So there are some people who are difficult because their behavior is rough, because of the way they have always worked. So if he's worked all his life, say we did work for a truck fleet owner. He spent all his life abusing the people. He gets abusive when he starts talking to my team. So I have told him, sir, you cannot talk to these people like that. After the second round of work for him, we told him, sorry, we cannot do work with you. But we also try to be understanding. His way of talking is like that because when he's working with truck drivers, the older ones, modern truck drivers have become better. वो गाली के बिना उसको समझ में ही नहीं आता है.
Yeah.
Okay. But that is, see, I have also learned from that. I make sure I am not abusive. So even when I shout at people, I find a more innovative way of insulting them than using abusive words.
Interesting.
Okay. Encouraging them, let's not say,
disrespecting.
Yeah. But there are times when the client is such, you have to pull out of it.
Yes.
Sorry, we cannot work together. That's that.
Very true. So my next question is, you have, how has the industry or a consultant journey, the business advisory or consulting evolved from the day you have started your journey in 1999 and now in 2023? What are the changes this industry has seen?
The consulting industry or our client in
consulting, the business advisory work area.
Right. So one thing is that we didn't start. I mean, we were not steady in consulting. We changed. We started with costing, consulting on costing systems. We moved to business consulting. We moved to funding, consulting on funding. We came back to processes. We moved to consulting on, we started consulting on IT, information technology. So we kept changing. Everything is dynamic. What the client wants today is not what he needs later. But 2-3 things that changed a lot. When we started, they were the big fours and they were us. There was no middle layer. It was big six at that time. Big six consulting firms, the foreign consulting firms. Together, they were the big 10. And they were us. There was no one in the middle. Today, there are middle level players. I work with some of them. Okay, so now there are 3-4 layers. The other thing is, a lot of people from the big 4 accounting firms moved out and started their own very successfully. And a third change is the collaborative working. Earlier, every consultant would do his own. He would not share anything with anyone. Today, it is different. Today, you cannot do work on your own. You have to collaborate with others unless you are McKinsey. Then you're different. Or you are Boston Consulting. You don't need anyone else. Otherwise, everybody needs collaboration. Let's say now we do a lot of work on ESG, which is, by the way, the big problem that everybody is going to face in a year's time. They have not understood it. ESG has got 40 odd segments that I have identified. Even E, S, and G, you cannot be an expert on E and S and G. So for example, carbon footprint management is not something I can be an expert on because I'm not from an engineering background. I need a partner to collaborate with. Legal compliance and safety and all these, I can do. Others come and take my help on it. We collaborate with them. We collaborate with the IT providers because they have things we need. We cannot deliver to the client without it. That is one more change. And the latest change is the impact of AI. Okay. But Chat GPT is not what I'm talking about. Okay. That is just, it is like a red herring coming across. The real change that is happening is in using AI for real work.
Yep.
I know of one particular very large industrial house who had 36 accountants and now they've got 5. Everything has been automated. AI does the full bill passing for which there are 15 people. It takes care of the payment for which there were 4 people. We have to learn that. Similarly, we have things we do, as I said, legal compliance or audits. Now we have tech tools. Earlier, I had people who used to sit all the time and update. Before every audit, 2 weeks used to happen in updating the checklist for any changes in the laws. Today, we have the tech tools for it. Earlier, we had to manually check every challan to see whether it's proper. Now we have AI tools that automatically read it and come back and say, you know what? Somebody's given you March statement 4 times, claiming it to be 4 months. The AI is able to say it. There are a lot of other changes. The other major change is the way people are using analytics. And yes, there is one more large change that has happened is The very, very sector specific consulting firms have come. If you want hotel consulting, there is only a group of 4-5 specialized people you can go to. That was not there before. There's the main set of changes. There might be others which I don't know. It'll come and hit me in the face one day, but this is what we have seen.
Wow. You had done share in the group of IBG, completed one course. So what attracts you to continuous learning, and tell us something about this course which you completed?
First of all, if you are in consulting, you cannot not learn. You have to learn because everything is changing. Whether it's the law, whether it's the requirements, whether it's the client expectation, whether it is technology is changing, we have to learn. There's too many things to learn. That's the other side of the problem. But it's today easier on the internet. I get mails all the time offering courses. I choose what I know will help me. So the one you are talking about, I did a ISO 45001 lead auditor certification, which is on occupational health and safety, which allows me to basically work with these factories and make sure that their safety management system is correct. We don't go and check their safety. We check the management system, the system and processes for it. Similarly, I have done ISO 27001, which is on IT security. Now we are 6-7 of us are planning to appear for the social impact audit, which is the new big thing that is going to come. All the time we have to learn something. We do, as I keep repeating that we do work on legal compliance. I just completed a 10-day course by CSE on legal management of environment requirements. I knew 70% of the things which were there, but what they told, 30% naya to mila. When I go to the client the next time, I can tell them, please look at this. This will create a problem.
Very true. So you have to keep upgrading, keep learning, so you stay relevant in your field of work. So my next question is, Saswat, we met at IBG. So how has IBG or any other networking group helped in your career?
Okay, mostly people look at the networking groups as a place to get visiting cards. That is wrong, first of all. The visiting cards are meaningless if you don't follow them up. The second thing is most people will look at the networking groups as a place to get clients. Yes, of course, it is a place where you get clients. That's why you're there. In IBG, I found more than clients, I'm getting resources. Anytime I'm trying to find a person to do a particular thing, I get so many leads. Now, my client told say again, as I told you, in SME consulting, they think you're an expert on everything. They told my client, who's by the way going to come now to meet me again, is saying, I need a fresh branding exercise. I need a logo. I need to do all of this. Get me someone to do it. Actually, they said, you get it done for me. I told her I'll get it done. I'm not going to sit and do it. It's not my area of expertise. I put the message on IBG saying, this is what I need. I got 8 messages with links, in some cases, the portfolio of the person who can do it. I passed it all to my client and said, you please choose. After that, I met one of those people over coffee, physical, and we were supposed to meet for half an hour. We were together for 3.5 hours.
Interesting.
And he has passed on to me the contact number of a person who will be able to get me connects to people who are selling steel or copper factories, which one of my client wants to buy. Their capacity is full. They need to expand. They are looking for another factory to buy. They are looking. If I give it to them, obviously I'm going to make money and I'm going to get one more audit. So yes, but I mean, I did not find a sales link, but I found a very critical resource, which is what? The difference between IBG and the others is probably the fact that it is a no pressure environment, which is different from what networking forums have become today. They have this thing, there's a lot of pressure to do something and show a number. That's not here, which is why I like IBG. And a few other forums like CI and all. You are there, you meet people, you choose the ones you want to talk to, follow up. You may get something, you may not get something, you might just have another contact to bounce off your idea. Sometimes it's a waste of time also. If I meet a stockbroker or if I meet a insurance guy, I'm always scared of it. But I am sure there are some people there also who are scared when they see me. Oh God, this guy again. Avoidable. Must be.
Interesting. So, friends, we come to the professional part. There is a lot to have conversation, which we shall continue. Now we are coming to the personal journey. Looking at a profile, Shashwat, I saw you did DISA. Then you studied law. How did these two help in your career? Both are vast different.
You forgot the base thing. I am an accountant. I did CMA. What about that? All three completely different. See, actually, law was a very interesting thing because I studied law 4 times. I studied it when I was in BCom. I studied it when I was doing CMA. I studied it when I was doing CS. And then when I was talking to my boss at that time, I realized that I have studied all of this from a certain angle. I have not studied the actual law. And I found it very interesting. And I wanted to study law from a legal perspective and the foundation of how the law is written and made. That's why I went back to law. Today, 60% of my revenue is based on the fact that I know law and I can guide the people or I can audit based on it. So that was useful. DISA comes from a completely different perspective. I have 6 technology related certifications. I fell in love with computers in 1985 after I finished my 10th when people did not know what a computer looks like. And I have been in touch with it. I have leveraged on it all the time. So DISA was an important qualification for me because we do audit. Information security audit is a very critical part, which I did not know. I knew, but my knowledge was not formal and I needed a qualification to back me up. That's where the DISA came from.
Wow. So you planned your career how to go ahead in life from the day of 1985.
No, I didn't actually plan it. I took opportunities where I could. See, I must interrupt your flow on this. Crystal gazing is not possible today. You don't know what's going to happen 5 years down the line. People come and ask me, should I do telecom in engineer? I don't know why. I am not an engineer. I tell them, did you know that mobile phone? Did your father know mobile phone was going to be this critical when he was a student? No, he did something else came up. You don't know whether mobile phones will be there when you actually want a job, or 10 years and down the line when you have kids and have a family to keep. So you have to be dynamic. You have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So I didn't plan it. I picked up, and then yes, the other thing is that I learned to leverage on that to tell the clients, give me work, क्योंकि ये मुझे आता है.
Yes. So your mantra is, I'm there, I'm keep learning and keep growing.
Right.
So look at the opportunities, I'm there. So you're involved with so many projects and so much work you're doing. What is the secret recipe for balancing work life we follow?
Good question. There are two answers to it. My former partner told me a very important thing, which is my tagline. He said, we have 20 people working here to whom we are paying salary. Agar mujhe idhar baith ke kaam karna, I might as well remove 2 of them and save the salary. I follow that mantra. I have people working, I have partners working, whatever. I am needed only to solve the problem, and the problem cannot be every day or all the time. So I don't need to be in the office 18 hours a day. Second thing is, I like this flexibility and I'm willing to sacrifice some amount of money for it. If I work 18 hours a day, I can earn much more. I don't want it. So what I do is, my people start working at around 9:30. I know they have nothing to ask me in the morning half. I go to the club, I swim, I go and have a nice breakfast, come to the office at 12. I don't leave the office till 9:30 because the traffic is bad. But since I'm here till 9:30, I catch hold of someone and make them sit down with me, or I spend this time to learn. I'm in the office for that 9 hours of the day. And sometimes that after 6:30, when others go, I can sit and work on something which I can't do if I'm being interrupted every 15 minutes. So again, a former boss of mine told me, concept called level of happiness. You decide this is what you want, and this level you are happy. So I decided I want a good car. I have a good car, electric. Thank you. I need 4 vacations in a year. COVID disrupted that. I'm getting back into it. I will not work on Sundays. I will do anything else. Earlier, my daughter used to drag me to the malls. Now she doesn't want me. She will go with her friends. I find other things to do. There's enough to do. As long as you realize work is not life. But without the work, your life stops. So you can't ignore that also.
So what are your hobbies, Saswat?
I love to swim. One of my biggest hobby. I love to drive. I love to travel. I love tech. Give me a new tech gadget. You can keep me busy for 6 hours. I now like watching movies, comedy series. Those I think you don't consider it a hobby now. People consider it a menace. Once upon a time, I used to go hiking. I did that the year before COVID, and I realized I have grown old. I cannot do it anymore. The rest of my companions reached the top. I stopped at 70% and waited for them to come down. My other hobby is meeting friends. over coffee, over lunch, whatever, and spending a lot of time talking to them, discussing, learning from them, or just the word my friends use is faffing around. No problem.
Wow. So my next question will be, who has been your biggest supporter in life?
It's difficult to say that, but my parents helped me a lot by saying they don't need money from me. That gave me the ability to leave the consulting job and start out on my own. They gave me a house to stay, independent from them. So a non-demanding parental side was one of the big helps. And there were others. A former boss of mine encouraged me, gave me my first assignment out of something he was doing. He said, fine, they take it. So many others have contributed in so many ways. It's really difficult to identify one single person.
That's true.
And none of their contribution was small or insignificant. That's the beauty of it. Maybe I'm just a likable person.
You have so much to say, so much to convey. Have you thought about writing a book?
No. That's too much trouble.
That is another topic. Yeah. As a parent, what are your visions for your children?
That is a useless thing to talk about. Children today have their own vision. They see world in a completely different manner. Their requirements, their expectations are all completely different. My daughter doesn't want to be in my field. She thinks it is boring. She wants to do something completely different. So, I mean, all that I can tell her is, whatever you do, honesty and ethics is critical. Deliver what you promise. And yeah, I tell her, don't go after that money, work out your own work-life balance, find your own level of happiness, and make your husband earn the differential.
Super.
I think quite a few men will beat me up for that part of the statement. They also want their work-life balance.
Yes. Okay. Have you thought about what do you want to leave in your legacy?
At one point of time, I thought I will create a organization like McKinsey. Then I realized that too much is changing too fast for us today, for us at least, to build that kind of a thing. So I have left it more this thing. My legacy will probably be on the ethics side, proving to people who I hope will follow that you can be ethical and still succeed. Forget other people who have made a lot of more money by using unscrupulous ways, by lying, whatever, evading the taxes. Forget all those. By ethics, you can do. If I can convince maybe 20 people to follow that path, I think I have left a legacy. The rest of it is in being remembered and not forgotten. I don't know how long that will last. We are not Modi ji. or Nehru ji, or that. So not, I think, what you were looking for, but that is my view of it.
The beautiful thoughts you have shared across. So, friends, I'm coming to the rapid fire surprise round. So you have to answer very quickly. What is your favorite food?
Chicken.
Favorite restaurant?
There is none. I eat everywhere. I have spent so much time eating out at all over this thing. There's no favorite.
That's very bad. The
No.
restaurants, please look
It
out.
is good. If you meet me once every week, we can go to 52 different places and not repeat. Think about it. And come every week.
I'll do that. Because we friends have taken advantage of this GIRF, the Great Indian Restaurant Festival, and visited so many restaurants and tried their cuisines. So I would love to do that with you. Because I'm a foodie, by the way. So we, three friends are there, and fortunately, we have tried.
I will be the fourth. I will join you when you are there on the next round.
Yeah, you're welcome. Or we can try in our ways, our journey of trying different cuisines. And so we also don't have any favorite restaurants.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, but yeah. So next question will be tea or coffee?
Coffee.
You're a morning person, night person?
Night. Actually, mid.
Mid. Okay. So your creativity chooses start flowing in afternoon,
Yes.
post afternoon. Okay. Hindi films or English films?
English.
Which
Always.
one? Which one?
Which?
Which English film is your favorite?
Again, so many of them. Every one of them.
It is
I prefer comedy. I
Okay.
prefer comedy first, then action, not so much on drama, and even lesser on the romance part of it.
Okay. So recent English movie which you have seen?
That's an interesting thing I haven't seen for a long time. I've got to catch my daughter and make her take me to one of them.
The Netflix is there.
Yes.
Amazon
But
Prime.
still seeing it in the
Theater, yeah, that is a charm. That is a very different charm. Yeah, theaters have a different charm. Sitting at home and watching on is you come at home and you are in home.
Yes. No, we should be out in the movie halls.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why Salman Khan movies and Shah Rukh movie Pathan, they have made huge money. So seeing a movie in big screen has a different charm, and with the crowd,
friends,
traveling,
friends
first
sitting there, energy is so different.
Yeah. So, friends, it was a lovely conversation which we had a lot of insights and examples Shashwat shared of his consulting, advisory, the information security audits, so many things which you have shared. Do watch the Coffee Conversation show on YouTube, which will be uploaded. And there are many other episodes which we have done with different guest speakers. Watch out for another Coffee Conversation. We are thankful to our community partners and to our team at the Emerging India Forum. Shashwat, enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Stay safe.